I think it's self-evident that Canada needs trade and that we should be, and I would suggest can be, the supplier of choice. And in particular, I look at the three gentlemen here when it comes to our agricultural sector. And yet it seems to be that when it comes to our place, we don't seem to be growing as fast as certainly we could be. And I would suggest, and I would ask the question, the reason why I ask this question is because it's important when this committee compiles a report. So my question to the three gentlemen here at the end of the table is the method to which we transport our goods primarily to Asia would be what? If I could just go down the table, starting with Mr. Harvey, then Mr. Carey, and then Mr. Hines.
I mean, after leaving Canada by ship?
Mr. Carey?
Rail to port.
Mr. Hines.
And for soybeans, we're transporting in containers as well as transporting in bulk. We use a lot of containers, approximately 40,000 every year to export our soybeans.
And those would primarily go through?
Port of Montreal, Port of Halifax, Port of Prince Rupert, and Port of Vancouver.
Okay. So when it comes to specifically the Indo-Pacific, we have one major port, and although I know that there's a lot of conversations that, in fact, that I've had with some of your organizations about expanding that, but I'm looking at a copy the World Bank had S&P do a report on port efficiencies. And I know my Liberal colleagues like to talk about S&P a lot, so I hope they'll note this in particular. And in the context of this report, the Port of Vancouver ranks, you can see it highlighted there, 347 out of 348 when it comes to port efficiency. So the witnesses here at the end of the table, is that concerning in terms of Canada's potential when we are ranked so low when it comes to efficiencies of such a critical part of Canada's transportation infrastructure, which is essential to making sure that your members, those involved with your organizations, and the many producers that you all represent are able to get their products to market? We'll start with Mr. Harvey, and we'll keep it fairly short.
But working more on ports on a daily basis than me.
Okay, Mr. Carey.
Absolutely. I think Canada needs to get back in the business of nation building. We see if capacity is needed in the United States at Long Beach, they move heaven and earth regardless of party in power at the time. 7 out of 10 tons of grains grown in the prairies by farmers and many of your constituents, it goes through the Port of Vancouver still. We have one bridge that gets to the Port of Vancouver. We have one tunnel. And I know discussions with the city of Burnaby are 5 years now into improving some of the basic grade issues around railway passing. So it is a concern that is our gateway to the economic prosperity in Asia.
And I appreciate that. And move heaven and earth, I think, is a key phrase there, because you're absolutely right. We need to be a country that builds and actually gets things done. And it's regrettable that over the last 9 years or so that has not been the case.